And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. And tonight, I actually have my good friend and co-host Rossie with me. We're here to talk about Nosferatu. This was actually a movie that I was looking forward to back in December whenever it first came out. I didn't get around to seeing it, but you know what? Rossie and I are big, huge vampire fans. So let's go on ahead. Let's review Nosferatu, and this is going to be a non-spoiler review, guys. So let's go on ahead. Let's do it.
Hey,
Hey, Rossi.
John. What's up,
Hey,
everyone?
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm sleeping
Good.
comfortably, knowing that Nosferatu is not going to come and get me tonight.
Oh my
So that's
gosh.
always a plus.
Right, right.
Otherwise, I'll have to sing the metallic song "Inner Sandman" every single night before I go to bed.
Okay, I get that. I get that.
And hey, everyone! I hope that everybody is having a good week so far on
Right.
this Wednesday evening. And thank you for joining us as we review Nosferatu. So I have a question for you. Whenever you looked
Right,
at this film, was this something that you were looking for? I know this is your one of your go-tos for 2024 at the time, right?
right.
Just like
Yeah.
me.
I couldn't wait to see it. And I remember I wanted to go to the theaters and see it, but I wasn't able to, just really busy. But I was so excited about this film because I loved Dracula. I love Nosferatu. I love the whole story of Dracula. Um, so I was excited to see this, and it's streaming on Peacock, guys. So you can watch it there.
Right. And you
Yes.
know what? I was gonna go see this movie in theaters,
Okay.
and it wasn't even playing at my theater.
Okay.
I was intended gonna go see that John Dylan, Bob Dylan movie that came
Yeah.
out. I was
Yeah.
gonna go see that, and then I was just ticked off enough to the point where it's like, you know what? You don't have my movie. I'm not gonna go sit through that movie because I'm not in the mood to go see it. Because my
Right.
plan was see Nosferatu, and then later on in the following week see the Bob Dylan movie. So
Right.
because they didn't have my movie, I'm like, you know what? I don't need to go see your movie right now. I'm
Right.
just mad and salty. So the thing that I really loved about this is how atmospheric this whole entire setting is. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong, we like the Last Voyage of the Dementor and
Yes.
stuff, which is a smaller scale movie, and if you think about it, because it's taking
Right.
place on a ship and it's
Right.
not taking place in other parts of the city or anything like that.
Right.
So what I like is with this is like when you get into Nazaratu, when you see the castle and the black
Right.
and white and the
Yeah.
template that they used for it,
Yeah.
I was sucked in because it's what I call cinema
Right.
because of the fact that this needs to be shown in theaters, especially the
Yeah.
wide angle shot of the castle doors opening, just as we're also entering this castle with Jonathan and
Right.
stuff. Oh my gosh. I thought I
Right.
was glued. I was glued right in.
Yeah. I that's one thing that I noted was the cinematography, how beautiful everything looked. I mean, that definitely captured, and what I was expecting, with a movie like this. So I was pleasantly happy about that. Also, I want to say that like Netflix to Dracula also had beautiful cinematography. So it reminded me of that. So everything was beautiful. The wardrobe department did a great job. I mean, it really did take you uh, back to that time, the early to mid 1800s. But when you do see the castle and how everything looks, I mean, to me, that's what you would expect. How it, Dracula and the whole castles and how it looked back then, and just the grayish colors and the off white colors and some of the darker colors, which was really really beautiful.
I do agree. I definitely love the coloring of it. It looks beautiful. I really feel
Right?
like I'm in this world with Thomas, and I actually said
Yes.
Jonathan earlier, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Jonathan. And I just want to say this: I just was enticed and enthused with the whole entire character build up, though,
Yes.
too, because you have Johnny Depp's daughter in this. You
Yeah.
have
Lily Rose Depp is in this. Yes.
Yep. And then you got Bill Skarsgård, which is
Yeah.
horrifying as always in every single movie that he plays
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Uh, you got Aaron Taylor Johnson in this. You also have William Defoe. This
Right.
movie is stacked. And when you have a movie that's stacked like this, it's hard to actually fit every single actor in a scene because
Yeah.
some people like, well, you didn't give enough screen time for this character or actor. But
Right.
they did enough screen time for every single character, every single actor to do their job. And that's something that I really appreciated was the fact that Bob Eggers was able to actually fit in the actors and actresses
Yeah.
in a time frame that was perfect for a 2 hour runtime, and nobody
Mm.
overshadowed anybody. It was just perfect
No.
pacing. And that's another thing I wanted to ask you was how did you feel about the pacing with the slow tension buildup, and
Oh,
then by the end of it, you actually get that tension that's actually released, the payoff at the end? But what did you think?
Um, I thought, at times I felt that it was a little slow, a slow pace, but I get it and I understood it because obviously a story like that is gonna take some time, but it was a little slow, I have to say. The Nosferatu character, I think the only thing that threw me off was the mustache. I'm nitpicking basically at this point,
Mhm.
the mustache because, the Nosferatu didn't have a mustache, so that just me just picking out little things because it was a good movie. And so, yeah, the slow pace and the mustache, I guess.
Yeah, the mustache for me threw me off the whole entire movie. Like that's all I'm focusing on. Like I
Right.
want to focus on everything, something else, but
Right?
it's like it's there. It's big. It's
Yeah.
huge. It's a
Yeah.
huge ass mustache
Right.
because of how the character leans in and he's
Right.
kind of limping around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the mustache is something that threw me off, and it's
Right.
still. I was like, okay, maybe a while it'll make me. I'll just be ignoring it the whole entire time.
You kept seeing it. You just kept seeing
Yeah.
this mustache, and, I'm like one of those, movie watchers where if you change something with the character, like something like a Nosferatu that you've seen since the 20s, you know what I mean? The first movies, okay? The first movie. And you see how he looked, and then you see in the film The Last Dementor, because the voyage is because when you saw him, I remember we both liked the fact that when they had that shot where it was a side shot of Nosferatu, the demon, or the bat, it
Mhm.
looked that side shot reminded you of the Nosferatu that you have seen in clips in the 20s. And I love that with the teeth at the front kind of bucked out.
Me too.
And so that for me, I was looking for that with this Nosferatu. But other than that, I thought he looked great. And I loved how tall, and I think someone had mentioned he had that what do you call the, not eagles, but the bird, the
That.
not the bat, the bird that he when he was together and he's
Oh
cloaked.
yeah.
I can't, the predator birds, when you die, they circle around. I can't call
Yeah,
their
I know what you're
name.
talking about.
Okay, but he kind of had that look to him with the way that his cape would be draped, so I like that. I love that about him, and I think he spoke Russian.
Yeah, it has like a Transylvania kind of
Yes,
accent that I really
yes,
like. I'm
yeah,
Dracula. I want to suck
yes,
blood.
absolutely,
Yes, I loved it. And then that deep voice that Bill Skarsgård has for
yes,
Nosferatu is perfect. It's
right.
haunting. It's menacing. You're just as
It is,
scared for the for our main character
right,
Thomas. And it just sucked me in. I'm like, yeah, I would sign over a deed to you because I don't want to get my ass chewed out
right,
or
right,
anything, literally chewed out. But yeah, it's just haunting. It's terrifying. It makes me want to piss my pants every single time I heard him talk.
right,
And
right,
even
yeah.
with it being on a small screen, I was still scared to death. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
actually hard to do on a smaller scale TV
right,
versus a theater where it's actually in your face and seeing it
yes,
all.
yes,
But it still has that feel to it of something haunting and something that is definitely creepy.
right,
I like the look of him. I like the half human, half bat kind of thing, like
yes,
Death Bat
yes,
kind of feel to it.
right,
And I like how he's kind of hidden, and you don't see that until like the very end of the movie.
right.
I
When
know
you
this is a
see, yeah,
non-spoiler review, but I just want to mention this. I just thought the way they brought it to light with
yes,
actually seeing it in his true form,
right,
because at first you're like, okay, maybe he has to drink enough blood to actually become a human form to where that deformed look of that death bat is pretty much gone. And then he's just a human that we all know as Dracula. But no,
yeah,
they kept him as that half human
yes, they
form.
did, yes,
And
they
I
did.
definitely like how they did that. I thought it was smart to do it that way. It's something different, something unique, something that I haven't seen before.
Right, and even in that scene that you're speaking of, I thought that that was a beautiful scene. I thought that was, I mean, even though he's a creature, the way that that scene was, the way that the two of them lay there, and the way that it looked when they had the top down view, and with the flowers around, I found beauty in that. And there's a lot of things in this film where some things are creepy, but you find the beauty in the creepiness of it. And I did find the beauty in him,
Right.
as yeah,
They kind of humanized him in a sense.
yes, yeah,
And that's something that I liked. And I want to also say this real quick. Chris, that's actually watching on Instagram right now. Thank you so much for doing that. We do appreciate that. I'm glad that you're doing good. I'm glad that you could actually watch us live. And what question must you ask me? Is the question. So, um, but I definitely have to say this though, Rossi. I know that I said that they humanized him, but it
yeah,
also shows the and not only does it humanize him, it's something tragic
right,
towards the end of it. Tragic and something beautifully well done.
right.
And it's just a tragic ending, is what it is.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the ending to be like that. It took me by surprise. And then when it happens, you sit back and you're like, you know, for me it was,
Right.
but it was, yeah, I liked the way that it did end. I thought that, like I said, it was a beautiful scene, the way that it ended. But the fact that she's been haunted by this creature, Nosferatu, since she was 12, since she was 12 years old. She's been going through these, seeing him and seeing things. And so that whole story, and also just the story of Dracula alone, because one thing about this film that I loved was you see bits of the Netflix to Dracula
Hmm.
in it, when he's going, when what's his name, Thomas,
Yeah.
is going to broker a deal with Nosferatu to own land in that town. And so if you remember the Dracula, the Netflix one, he does the same thing. And
Right.
then the Voyage of the Last Demeter, you see that, and you see all that, which I love, because that is the story of Dracula.
Right. That's the initial setup that we
The
get during
initials,
this.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
that's what I like. It's a perfect prequel for the Demeter that we
yes,
never got to see
absolutely.
before. Because every
Right.
single Dracula movie always starts off with them with the ship being disarray. You never see
Yes.
the story of the crew. In this
Right.
and that other one, we actually got to see it.
Right.
And this one, you don't really need to see it since we already had a movie. So I'm glad they didn't focus on the
Yeah.
crewmates because it could
Right.
have been that. It could have been where, okay, you're traveling on the water
Right.
again.
Right.
And
Right.
no, they showed little glimpses of
Yes.
how this plague is being taken over by these rats.
Right.
And the crew members are frightened, and I'm just as frightened as they are.
Right.
And then it cuts over to them, and you see the people investigating when the
Yeah.
ship comes in, and all these rats are coming in. One person's like, "Oh my god, this is a plague."
Yeah. They
Um,
thought it was a blight. Yeah.
yeah, but I like how William Dafoe plays the character of every that he knows what's going
Yes.
on.
The cultist guy. Yes. Yes.
Yes, I loved his character.
Yes.
He knew exactly who Nosferatu was, while
Right.
everybody else didn't. It has
Right.
that little mystery element of like, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I know what I'm dealing with. You're
Right.
just gonna have to go along with me as if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because everyone, I mean, everyone thinking that it's the plague that's coming. I mean, and it looks like it, and that's what you would think. The hospitals are being taken over. When he comes into the picture, into the film, the fact that he knew this was not that. He knew that it was Nosferatu. And another thing I want to mention is I love the shadows. I love the way that they use the shadows. His hand over the whole town. I just those little things. And also I want to mention that, let's go back to the language he spoke. I love that when he was in her dreams talking to her, it was in, I think it was in Russian, or, whatever language that was. But I love that they translated that. So whenever he spoke to her, it was always in a different language. And I thought that was really good, because it kept you in the film. And just to hear Bill's what,
Uh,
Skarsgård?
yeah,
Yeah, to hear how his voice just, he did such a great job as Nosferatu. he did a great job as him. But those are little things that I really appreciated that, you know?
Me too. Because here's the thing: it's one thing to be haunted as an adult, but it's another
Yeah.
thing to be haunted as a kid, and you're carrying
Right.
around this with you for years, and this guy's just
Yes.
terrorizing you over and over again. It's this creature of the dark that you don't even
Right.
know how to describe. And if you do talk about it, you're afraid that people are going to think they're nutso for
Right.
even thinking it. And I like how Thomas was able to be there for her, and and even she says
Oh,
it. He goes,
yeah. Yeah.
"Look, you're the one who broke me out of my shell to be able to stand up to him. If it
Right.
wasn't for you or anything, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now."
Right.
And that's something that I really loved, is the courage of a woman that's there to protect Thomas, just as he's
Yes.
there to protect her.
Right.
And I like how he's showing masculinity, but also to allowing her to be able to try to be the one to protect him as
Yes.
well. So it
Because you
works all the
find
way
out that
around. Yeah,
go ahead, because you find out she's the only one that can protect him and the town to
right.
get rid of this so-called blight, to get rid of Nosferatu. So yeah, she definitely is the main one that is I don't want to say she's responsible. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like she's responsible for what's going on. And I love his trek to going to meet Nosferatu. Going through the one town with the gypsies in the town that are
Yeah, I wanted to
telling
talk about
him
that.
that that town was great, that were telling him, and he couldn't understand them, but were telling him, don't go, and they were trying to get rid of Nosferatu, this vampire as well. They would do rituals and seances and well, not seances, but just rituals and prayers to get rid of him. And you can go ahead and speak on that town, but I
Right.
loved how they showed that.
Me too. Okay, so here's the thing and even staking a vampire though too, because they also
Hmm.
got rid of one
Yes,
vampire, supposed
right.
vampire, then
Yes,
John the ones that waking up the next
right,
morning. But what I loved about the town was it makes me feel like I'm a tourist with Thomas, who's
right.
experiences for
Yeah,
the first
yep,
time. So we're
yep,
just as lost as he is.
yeah,
And I like the fact that he ended up how the director winded up giving us more of a look into the gypsies.
yes,
You know what I
yes,
mean? Because
yeah,
how many times do we just see them like a glance or whatever? And yeah, they're in there for a few minutes, but they
right.
really focus the camera work where about for 5 minutes focusing on the gypsies and
Yes.
realizing that he's in danger.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
and they're dancing, they're having a party, but then they all start laughing at him because you're an idiot. What are you doing?
right.
Basically, that's what I got from them. What are you doing? Why are you going there? And thinks that the fact he has a gold, he stays there overnight. But even the older lady, was telling him, telling us, don't go. So, but yeah, that little scene was great.
But yeah,
Yeah,
he's even like, "Look, I have to go." I said, "Dude, you don't have to go.
no,
You're
you don't.
choosing. I understand that you and your fiance both need money. I get that, and
Yes.
you're doing it for
Yes.
her.
Right.
But when people tell you not to go,
Yeah.
you don't go."
Right.
But still, the whole I know that we're focusing on the gypsies and everything, but I feel like that
Mhm.
you need that dance for 5 minutes to actually understand them.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
even
To
with
get who they were,
the
yeah.
yeah, because even with Robert De Niro's movie with Leonardo DiCaprio that came out a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
well, about 2 years ago, I think it was. Um, they were focusing on this one guy that was dancing at the wedding for like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And I was like, why the hell are they focusing on that? I'm like,
Right.
because they want us to experience the
Right.
wedding just as
Right.
they're experiencing the wedding. So it's
Yeah.
an experience for them just as much as it's an experience for us.
Right.
And that's also the same way that I feel about the gypsies. Yeah, they're focusing on the gypsy for 5 to 10 minutes, but
Right.
it's there and it's necessary. It's not there just for the sake of being there.
No, no,
So that's something
no.
I do appreciate with it.
We know that you love the castle, but that when he gets to Nosferatu's home, what did you think about all that? Because we've seen that before, but how Thomas is dealing with like these illusions that he's possibly having, and yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I found that was very horrifying was when I was sitting face to face with him,
Mhm.
and then you see the statues move,
Yeah.
and I never saw that before in a movie like this, where the
Right.
statues are looking at him just as he's
Yeah.
looking at him, and we're just as horrified as he is. And
Yeah.
then you also have this other thing that's happening too, where yeah, he ends up the next morning. He winds up waking up and he finds rats on him, eating his
Yes.
flesh and
Yes.
stuff. It was just, oh my gosh.
The deer
Um,
hunt, you wanna read, pop
yeah,
culture, pop
yeah. Let's
counterculture?
see
What's
what
up?
you have. Pop culture. Let's see. Is that Michael Cimino in a nutshell? The Deer Hunter opens with a 1 hour long wedding scene.
Wedding
Yep.
scene.
Okay. But I just thought that everything about this film was necessary. I really thought that with the C-Bar says something too. Let's see. But it why was it a ghost town the following morning? Even his horses was gone. Was it even real? I think it was real.
Yeah, I think
I
so
think it was
too.
just the fact that, they're traveling gypsies,
Yes.
but also too, it's like, look, we got to get the hell on out of here and leave this white dude alone because he's the one who's going to wind up going over to this castle, even though we warned his ass. So we're just going to take his horse and, because think of it like this: it's a plague. So
Right.
therefore, they're caring more about the animal than they are about the human because the human is a ass because he's going to go up to the castle even though they told him not to go up there.
Right.
So yeah,
Hey, y'all always gotta go see what's going on. Y'all always gotta go see what's going
just
on
like
around the
white
corner.
people.
White people, I tell you, I love
Yeah,
y'all, but y'all always gotta go see what's happening around the corner after people told you don't go. But we
exactly.
appreciate you. We appreciate you. 'Cause if it weren't
Thank
for
you. I
you, we
do.
wouldn't see them going in the cages, the sharks underneath. It's like the ocean, like who does that? But thank you.
We
Thank you.
do.
This is great TV, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Y'all are brave.
right. We're stupid, but yeah, thank you.
Stupidly brave. Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I really feel like that. It was just threatening. It was menacing.
Right.
The whole entire rats eating his flesh was horrifying, and then him going over to where um Nosferatu is,
Right.
and you already know it's not going to go down the way he thinks it's going to go down.
No, not at
Come on, you
all.
see a coffin and you see a bunch of rats.
Yes, you open it up. You
Yeah,
open it up and you saw him, and oh my gosh, that was a great scene. That was a scary scene. I love that scene though when he opened it up and he's just laying there. The makeup was just great.
it was. I love the makeup.
Yes.
The makeup and cosmetics was perfect.
Yes.
I didn't
Yes.
really feel like the CG there was too much CGI in it. It was enough practical
No.
effects to mix and match it
Yeah.
to the
Right.
point where it draws you in even more.
Right.
And that's something I really that I really felt like it was just capturing me every single moment.
Right. And
But yeah,
the fact of what she was going through at home, Ellen, the seizures that she was having, the convulsions. I
yeah,
mean, all this stuff that was going on while Thomas is gone, to the point where it looked like she was like possessed by some demon, or like it was bad. And the family, her family, I think isn't it Thomas's brother that they were staying with, and the brother's wife and the two little girls that were
yep.
also saying things about seeing things in their room, seeing the ghost in the room. And I have to go back to that scene where we're speeding it up, but
No, it's
how
fine.
horrible was that when he was in those babies' room and the mom's just standing there and you see the little girl and he just, yeah,
He just throws her down,
throws
and
her down.
he's witnessing this, and
Yes.
I would be horrified though too.
Yeah.
I think I would
Oh,
actually die of a
yeah.
heart attack, to be honest with you, if I
Right.
witnessed that and be like,
Yeah.
wait, did I just see what I just thought I saw?
Yeah.
And then even at the funeral, he was not prepared to even lay them down. And
No.
we already know that she's going to come alive and drink his blood, but I'm glad they didn't do that. It just shows
Yes.
the love and the romanticism
Yes.
of how he feels about his wife.
Yeah.
And then when they open up the well, not the coffin, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, yeah.
mausoleum.
Yes.
And when they open it up, they're like, "Oh, but now we have to burn this body.
Right.
We have to burn both these bodies because now it's not good." So they wind up burning it.
Yes.
But I love the romanticism and showing how much he loved his wife.
Right. Because I mean, I thought too when he opened it up and opened up her coffin and was holding her, I thought too, oh great, she's gonna, what's gonna happen.
Right.
But I love that they didn't show that as well. Yeah, that was just a violent death for the kids. And so, the fact that by this point, Thomas is back in town, because he obviously he jumped off of the cliff after those dogs were coming after him and jumped off. And I thought he would be dead there, but he washed ashore and ended up making it back home. But that scar that he had on his chest, where he had to prove to his brother and to the doctor that, I know who he is. I know what's going on.
Right. And even whenever they're like, well, what makes you think that you know?
Right. And
Because he gives him, he flat out tells him, look, I've been studying this. I know what I'm
yes,
dealing with.
right,
And we have to go over to where Thomas found that did the deed, where he ends
yeah,
up to this house and actually killed this vampire in order for it to go away, for this
right,
plague to go away over the city. But at the
right.
same time, he also doesn't tell Thomas
Yeah,
something, and and Thomas is just horrified because he realizes that it's not going to go well for him in the end of it.
right, right. And another thing was there was a countdown at some point where when Nosferatu, had came to Ellen in a dream, or you know, and he let her know you got 3 days. You got 3 days. And on the first day, I think it was going to be he'll start affect. It was affecting the town. The second day, it was like I'm gonna take people that are close to you. And then the third day, it was going to be, I think it was going to take Thomas if she wouldn't willingly
Submit
give
to him.
herself, yeah, to him. So I love that countdown, and how in his language he would talk about the first day, that
Same here.
and then the second day. And so it was the film was just put together quite well. I've talked to people that had kind of mixed reviews. They weren't expecting that. Um they liked some of it but didn't like, you know all of it. Yeah. So when I watched it, I remember paying attention and trying to see like where they were coming from. But those nitpicking earlier, the two things that I told you, that kind of,
Right.
other than
And
that, yeah, I like the story.
I do too. And I'm with you though on the pacing. I thought the pacing was a little like once you get into the middle of the film, it kind of
Yeah.
slows down.
Oh
And
yeah.
then it's like, okay, what come on guys. Let's keep going. I said I understand that you have to do the talky talk thing
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
dialogue and stuff. I understand it. I also like the language that you're speaking,
Right.
but I do want to see what else happens.
Yeah.
But then once you wind up getting to the final moments, okay, this is what we're here for. We're here for the
Right.
showdown that's about to go down at the end of it.
Right.
Um, Now there are a couple of scenes I wanted to ask you about. What did you
Yeah.
think of the bird scene that I told you about before? There was one scene in the asylum where the guy winds up eating the bird.
Oh shoot, yeah. That guy, the guy that actually sent Thomas
Yeah,
on this quest. Yeah. First of all, odd when he's sitting in the middle of that pentagram, and you realize he's evil and he's pledged himself, sold his soul. I was taken back by that, but also when he's sitting in there and in that cell, and he has that that poor bird. No, I was mortified by that. I mean, he just, pulled that Ozzy Osbourne,
yeah, I
and
was
you
thinking
know
the
what I
same
mean?
thing. I was mortified by that, to be honest with you. I was like, I knew that he was getting closer and closer to probably eating the bird. I said, is he about to
Yeah,
do what Ozzy did?
right,
I said,
right.
and sure enough, he did. And
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, that is grotesque. Grotesque.
right.
Um, the other thing that I felt like that was a little awkward was the sex scene that they had.
Oh, yeah, that was awkward. But when she looks at him and tells him, "You can never please me like he does," and he just picks her up and is like, "I'll show you." You know what I mean?
Okay. So I get what
Yeah,
I get it now. Now
yeah.
that you
I
put it in that
mean,
context, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make this demon go away, so therefore I'm gonna show him who's boss.
yeah. I like that.
So
I felt that that scene was necessary, only because of the way that it came up with her looking up at him and saying that to him. And I thought his response was great, because he came off as sort of like weak in a way, just a not, I don't want to say weak, just a docile, passive, quiet, about business, going to go and try to get money for to make money for he and his wife, and to come up basically. And
right.
so but he was very, very quiet, you know? And so to see him do that, I was hoping that he would after she said that, but I wasn't expecting for it to go down like that. But I get why he behaved like that with her because
Yeah.
yeah, let me show you.
It's like this is my fiance. I'm gonna
Yeah,
show
yeah,
you what I'm all about. And
exactly.
and it took a lot for him to get there though too, because if you remember, he didn't like confrontation, it looked like,
No.
or anything like that. He was just one of those guys that kind of went with the flow kind of
Yes.
deal. And
Yes.
then when Nosferatu comes around, that's when he start after everything that happened to him in the castle, and then of course with him trying to possess her body, saying, "Well, where were
Yes.
you when you didn't write me?" Blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. And then once you get to that point, it's like, okay, that was his breaking point. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
enough is enough with this dude. I'm going to show
Exactly.
him I'm the alpha here,
Right.
and he's just a little ghost whisperer that needs to
Right.
go away.
Yeah.
So now that you mentioned it, it does make sense. I'm glad that
Yeah.
you brought that to my attention
Yeah.
with that. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a pretty good film. I mean, it's solid. I'm not a big Robert Eggers fan when it
Okay.
comes to I didn't like The Witch,
Okay.
but with this, I was more enthused with it. I liked it. A matter of fact, I have to say it was probably I'm gonna give this like a 4.8 out of 5 for me, just because
Okay.
of the fact of how I liked it. There was some
Yeah.
little nitpicky stuff here and there, like we mentioned, but I mean,
Yeah. Just yeah.
everything just worked.
I like his films. I like so I think I
Yeah,
was
no,
excited about this because I did see The Witch and a lot of the other films that he did. I like the type of films that he does. So this was good. I will give it the same score that you gave it, only because you know we're nitpicking it, but altogether you had the story of Dracula. You know, you
yeah,
had bits of the story of Dracula. And, you know, like we mentioned, you know, the last voyage, you got to see because, you know, in that movie he ends up obviously escaping and getting away. So you got to see him in the town, how he got to the town and what happened when he got to the town. So I really like that about it. I love the fact that you got to see young Thomas go and broker a deal like it is done in the Dracula story of Dracula. These things. So yeah, and his love for this or you know fascination with this young woman that he finally you know gets.
me too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Also, too, pop culture says Igor's is 4 for 4.
Mm.
Eggers. Okay, Eggers is 4 for 4. In his
Yeah.
opinion, all of his movies are 4 out of 5 star material. Hey Jojo.
Hey Joanne.
Eggers. But
Yeah,
I do like the
absolutely.
lighthouse. I do like the lighthouse. That
Oh
was
yeah, yeah. Right.
so for me not to like one of his films out of the other films that he has. I mean, come on.
Right.
No, I thought it was good too. So, but yeah,
Yeah, all around good film. I think if you guys are interested in watching it, it's streaming now on Peacock. If you want to watch it on YouTube or on Prime, you got to buy the movie for 19.99. So at least go to Peacock and watch it for free. They have the original version and they have the extended version, which I watched today, which is a little longer, obviously, than the
oh,
original one. Yeah, they have two
I didn't
versions
watch
on
that. I
Peacock.
just watched the standard one. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I just happened to hit one and was like, why is it 2 hours and 50 something minutes and or 30 something minutes? And come to find out it was the extended version that I watched. So you guys can watch that on Peacock and let us know what you guys think about, you know, Nosferatu, 2024 Nosferatu.
Okay. Well, guys, if you like this review, give us a go on ahead, like, subscribe, comment, and tell us what you think of some of your favorite scenes. You guys have the floor right now if you guys want to geek out and talk about some of your scenes that you liked or anything. If not, we're gonna close out. But Rossi, I know you have a couple of things that you want to announce as well.
Yeah. Let's see. On Monday, guys, you can join me on Rossie's Clubhouse. I'm going to have the award-winning actor Omari Washington on the show. I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to speak with him. And we have Payday 916. His interview will be dropping really soon, guys. And there's a lot of great talent that's going to be coming to Rossie's Clubhouse in the rest of March and April. And I'll have Amanda cook back with me on April 19th. We are going to review Mommy Dearest. So I'm looking forward to doing that review with her.
And guys, Beth will be back with me tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to be reviewing The Outsiders tomorrow night. It's gonna
Awesome, great
and
movie.
it is. To be honest with you, I got introduced to that film about two years ago with Brandy, my
Oh,
wife.
really?
So yeah, I never seen it or anything
Oh
like
my
that,
gosh,
and
John.
yeah, I was brand new to it. So this is my first time rewatching it since the first time
Okay.
I watched it.
I
So
love that movie. That's a
it's
good
fun.
movie.
Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna be doing that, and then let's see here. I'm gonna be doing Copland. I'm gonna be doing a first time watch of Copland, the Sylvester Stallone movie, on the 17th at 8 o'clock. Then of course Don will be with me on Saturday. We're gonna be reviewing the first two episodes of Daredevil, Born Again. So we're gonna be doing a little Daredevil review for you guys. So come and join us. Come into live chat at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time for that. But yeah, that's as far as everything I have. But I know Rossie has something that she wants to say.
Yeah, one more thing. I'm so sorry. One more thing,
No,
guys.
no, it's okay.
On March 12th, I also will be having our video game segment with Trust, Don Tucker, Padawan Frito. They'll be back, and we have some GTA news update and a lot of other gaming news updates. So we'll see you guys at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Movie Lovers Unite Rossie Talks segment.
Okay, which would be also
Rossie Talks.
9:30, right? Which would also be 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time if you guys want
Absolutely.
to know the time for that too.
Yes.
So that's gonna be it. And thank you, Rossie. I mean, I enjoyed reviewing this with you. I enjoyed watching it. I had a good time with it.
Awesome.
But yeah, guys, geek out with us. Tell us what you think. Also, too, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, where you guys get your podcast from. Also, too, follow everybody on the Unfiltered Studios
Yes.
podcast. That's where we're from. Also, to follow like the Stupid History Minute. We also have the Sleepy G Show, Hypno Wellness. We have Pedals of Support. Not only do we have Pedals of Support, but we also have, of course, Nailed It with St. Joe, and also Finding Your Way with the Beep. And always until next time, guys, have a great, safe night, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for everyone commenting. Thank you to Affiliado. Thank you to Chris as well, commenting in the Instagram as well. Thank you to Pop Culture. I do appreciate you, and JoJo and C-Bar. And always until next time, guys, be excellent to each other, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
See ya.